Welcome to Behind the Bar with Steve. Behind the Bar with Steve is back for what we could call a new season. It's a new season of Behind the Bar with Steve, and this is episode 20, the big episode 20. Yeah, and we're back for some new episodes. Some things will be coming out now. I've been posting those epic moments. Those are going on for quite a bit. I've decided that it's time to get back into the show. I'll still have some more epic moments for you, but we will start having new episodes here. And to kick things off with this episode 20, basically we're just going to go over some new additions. We call this segment a new addition, and I got quite a few. To knock one out right off the rip, I got a nice bottle of Bacardi. I needed some rum for the bar. Start making some drinks that I do make with rum. And it'd be good to have on hand the nice Bacardi Superior, the Bacardi Silver, classic rum. Definitely needed to have that for the bar. The next one I found interesting. It was easy to come by, and I was just browsing and was like, wow, I can't believe I didn't know this was a thing. Since 2022, they've been releasing this. It's Jack Daniels, and it's Jack Daniels Bonded. A Jack Daniels in 100 proof. That's perfect. Because Jack Daniels Black Label, the old number 7, the classic one, is only at an 80 proof. I think that Jack Daniels should be at 100 proof. It should be a higher proof whiskey, but because of when you start to sell so much of the one thing, there's regulation where they say, no, you gotta keep that at a lower proof. You can't sell this much of something at 100 proof. So their Black Label, that is obviously their flagship, their primary whiskey, they keep that as 80 proof. Over the decades that was coming down, they were back and forth with the proofing, and they settled on 80 proof. So that's where they're at with that. So this is great. There's now 100 proof Jack Daniels, and they call it Bonded. This is a bondled and bond 100 proof Jack Daniels, and we could have that on hand so that when we make a drink with Jack, you know it's going to be a nice stiff drink, a nice 100 proof whiskey in that drink. So we got that, and we'll go over that. We'll go over the Jack Daniels Bonded. And then we have something from up north Pennsylvania, small local town. We talked about them before. They're called the Keir Family Distillery. They distill whiskey and other booze on their farm. And they now make a bourbon. It's a Pennsylvania bourbon from the Keir Family Distillery. What I've always had from them was a wood-fired whiskey. I've always had the wood-fired whiskey on hand, a good whiskey. It goes through a great process of having good fired up barrels and all that. But so now they also have an actual bourbon. So we're going to do a new segment, something new. And it's something that might have been done before on the show, but it's never been made official. They're even have a segment called Versus. Versus is going to be where we take one whiskey and put it up against another whiskey. Something somewhat comparable. At one time of the show, I did like a Maker's Mark versus Woodford Reserve. I was trying a Woodford Reserve. I needed those whiskeys for something, so I made something with a Maker's Mark. And then I wanted to do something with a Woodford Reserve, so we technically put them up against each other. I tried the Maker's Mark, and then I tried the Woodford Reserve. And I determined that I believe Woodford Reserve is the better whiskey. So we're going to do a versus, like literally of the same brand, the same distillery, put two of their whiskeys up against each other. We're going to introduce their bourbon. Because these guys are from up in Bradford County, Pennsylvania. Local owned family distillery. They got good stuff. They really know what they're doing. I think they should be recognized for that. And behind the bar with Steve, down there at Steve's Cabin of the Woods bar, we keep their stuff on hand. We recognize that they make good whiskey, good stuff. So we're going to try their bourbon, and we're going to go put it up against the old wood-fired whiskey. So those are some things we'll be doing on today's episode 20. Alright, so this is the segment, A New Edition. And today's a new edition is Jack Daniel's Bonded. We'll go over the bottle here of Jack Daniel's Bonded. Let's take a look at the bottle. I like looking at the bottle, looking at the labeling. Jack Daniel's does do some nice labels. They really make their stuff look appealing. So we got Jack Daniel's Bonded. Jack Daniel's Bonded, Tennessee whiskey, aged in select barrels for added depth and character, bottled in bond. That's what I'm talking about. Bottled in bond, 100 proof. Bonded, it's a big, bold Tennessee whiskey with layered notes of caramel, rich oak, and spice, giving way to pleasantly lingering finish. We'll see about all that. Bottled in bond, distilled in a single distiller during a single season, and matured in the government bonded warehouse for at least 4 years, 100 proof. And that's that. Okay. So that's our bottle. Good looking bottle. And this is an important release from Jack Daniels. Having Jack Daniels in 100 proof is important. And a nice stiff Jack Daniels. A nice good one. A nice bold whiskey. As Jack Daniels should be, and as a Jack Daniels intended to be. Alright, so here's our Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels Bonded. We'll have our tester, our Glencairn glass. Used for having a nice pour. Open it up. I always feel bad taking the top off. I love the tops of these. There we go. But you gotta get in there so you can open it up and have a nice pour. So here we go. Jack Daniel's Bonded. Have a nice pour of it. See if it's any good. What I'm looking for is that classic Jack Daniel's taste. Obviously, I almost expect it to be a little bit stronger than your standard Jack Daniel. But also have a good taste, have a good finish. Alright, we'll give it a taste. It smells like whiskey. I mean, I'm not the best at the smelling thing. But, hey. That's very good. It's not harsh at all. It goes down pretty good. It's smooth, as Jack should be. Jack should be somewhat smooth. That's a good one. I like it. Jack Daniel's Bonded is that's just a good one. It's really good. It's smooth. It has it has the definitely has a good Jack taste to it. Definitely on the it's definitely like you drink it like Jack, and it's a good it has that nuttiness but sweetness to it. Uh, yeah, I think it's pretty good. I like this one. It'll be a nice sipper, whether neat or on the rocks. A nice sipper. Or we can even go Jack and Coke. Greatest combination of all time. Good old Jack and Coke. We might try that out. I got me a nice bottle of Coke. I might get into some Jack and Cokes here. But this is a good whiskey. Real smooth. Goes down easy. Not too harsh. It's got the classic Jack Daniels taste. It's a good one. And it just I like a whiskey that goes down nice and easy, nice and smooth. Whiskey should taste good. Some whiskeys can have a burn, but they can have to have a good finish. This has a good finish, nice sweet, nice, you get that sugar maple finish. Is it comparable to what they say? Caramel, rich oak. Definitely rich oak, real oaky. Caramel. They say spice. I don't think it's. I'm gonna say it's spicy. Well, yeah. Well, sure. It's pretty much on point with that. Okay. So that's Jack Daniel's Bonded, and I think it's a really good whiskey. And it's good for a budget. It's not very expensive. It's easy to find. That's important nowadays. Sometimes you don't always have time to hunt for bourbons and whiskeys. It's cool when you get something neat and you get something special. But sometimes you're just gonna go in the liquor store and see what they got, see if there's anything interesting that they have. And this was kind of interesting. People are gonna say, "Oh, not that big of a deal." At 100 proof, but that's important because you got a lot of the big bourbons and whiskeys have their 100 proof, and Jack Daniels should be no different. They should have 100 proof, a nice, strong, rich, bold whiskey, the way it should be, the way Jack Daniels should be, and that's why I thought this was important. Probably the way Jack Daniels should be at 100 proof, but keeping those good characteristics of Jack. Yes, of course, it does. And so we have a Jack Daniels in 100 proof. So that's good. All right.